So anyone has a question? Brother John, you said that you have a question. Please go for it.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, well, I understand that like this whole effort to like compile the hadith and like determine which is authentic and not like started with Omar. If Muhammad wanted, peace be upon him, wanted us to follow the hadith, like why did he not have his sayings be written down when he was alive?
That's a great question. As I said, first of all, at the time of the Sahaba or the companions, they did not need to compile the hadith because at the time the Prophet ﷺ was still alive. So they could just go to the Prophet ﷺ, knock on the door and ask any questions they want, and they get the answer right away, you see. But after the Prophet ﷺ died, people needed guidance. And so the guidance we can get only from the first students, the ones who interacted with the Prophet ﷺ immediately. And those were the Sahaba, as I said. And so those are the ones that they actually have the hadith already memorized. The other thing that the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade the Sahaba to write down the hadith or his teachings down because they don't want them to be confused between the hadith and the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes first. They are the immediate revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so he wants them first to establish the words of Allah first in their hearts, and then comes the application and comes the practice. And that practice would be the practice of the hadith, of the hadith, which is the traditions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.